Hey, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Elseworlds Exchange. I'm Sal.
And I'm Joel.
I know we recently did a costume ranking episode.
Sure did.
The first one, Captain America, we did it for the 4th of July. A little patriotism from us to you. And you know what? It was nice because Joel was showing some patriotism to America. Well, now we're showing a little patriotism to Canada. Because we're talking about
Canada.
Wolverine costumes. We're going to be honoring the old Knucklehead himself. And why? Why would we do this? Why would we talk about Wolverine's costumes? For one thing, this has been in my craw for a long time. I've been like, I think Wolverine's got enough costume changes that are so distinct that it's worth a show. But also, Ryan Reynolds was kind enough to show us this.
Hey.
And we
Again,
were like, oh.
I think we joked on a previous show where I'm like, look, doing a Deadpool 3 now, doing a Deadpool 3 during a writer's strike. Look, if they just get Jackman in the yellow and blue, that's like 50% justifying making the movie, and they did it. So
then they did.
and
it's amazing. And it's I've done enough shows on other people's channels to talk about how much I love this suit, but once I saw it, I woke up to it. I was in bed. I got a text from a friend of mine in the industry who sent me a picture, and I looked at it. I'm like, I love this. And then I immediately just tweeted that. I'm like, I love this suit. And, because it's rare that you see something and you're just like, nailed it.
They got it right the first time. And it's also like, I almost had a minute of like just shaking my screen. It's like, it could have been like this the whole time. It could have been like this the whole time.
No, I don't believe it ever could have been like this the whole time. I sincerely believe that suit could only have come out of a reaction to the Matrix rubber black suits, to the influx of like, look, people rag on Chris Evans's Captain America suit from the Avengers. I remember when that suit was like debuted at Comic-Con and people were like, it's perfect. And when it came out in the movie, like we all loved it. And you know what? Like I do like Cap's more tactical suit from First Avenger, Winter Soldier, but there's something to be said for making an actually like honest attempt at a comic accurate costume in film.
Indeed.
Without doing the thing like the Spider-Man effect, where it's like, if you look closely on that Raimi suit, there's all these little like textures or bumps or like images. And I think that it's on purpose. It's so that there's the illusion of texture. Spandex just doesn't look very good on film. It doesn't catch light very well. The cleanest, most simple super suit on film is Chris Reeve's suit, where it's just cloth.
Yeah, it's true. And they've made so many great strides in costuming and costuming technology over the last couple of years. And I feel like the Wolverine suit had to look this good because the Deadpool suit looked so page accurate as well. So it would look weird next to him.
It's true. And they also did improvements to the Deadpool suit. Like it's a little redder.
Yes.
It's a little more soft. You notice, like, I think like there's no leather anymore. It's more soft. It's more clothy. All the better for it. And I'm so on board. I also was like, I feel bad for some of these actors who are like, I'm known for being huged or huge act man, and I need to be like shredded, and then I gotta go through all this crap to make my body into this. Like, no, just slap on a head to toe like yellow suit, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yep, no one can see my varicose veins.
Right, I'm fine with that, but. This suit made me go like, oh my God, because I heard rumors that there were some leaked photos of it originally that indicated it was going to be the Astonishing X-Men John Cassidy suit, which it basically is. And looking at it, I was like, yeah, the John Cassidy suit is I wouldn't say it's perfection. I think it's a perfect modernization of the classic yellow suit.
It's a good version of that suit and one that works well in live action as we are seeing here.
Precisely. So that made me go like, all right, you know what? We're doing it. We're doing the suits for Wolverine. Let's just cover them. Let's just go over it. We're using a number of sources to talk about some of these just to kind of like refresh our memories, but also to make sure we get them in order. He's been through a lot. And it's funny. It's not as many as I would like. I think I know in my heart of hearts that Insomnia is going to do a whole menagerie of Wolverine suits for that Wolverine video game they're going to make.
Yes, as I'm sure they would have to. It also speaks to the larger X-Men thing, and that is The X-Men have a lot of goddamn costumes because they'll change theirs on a friggin' Tuesday. They're like, hey, everyone, new suits.
Well, and it's so funny because like you could do a couple of Gambit suits or a couple of Rogue suits, and I bet Rogue has probably more costume changes than Gambit because you know, Gambit, 100% fresh out of the gate. But Wolverine is one of those exceptions where it's like where the X-Men would change unilaterally. Wolverine would either stay consistent or he would change when there was no change asked for in the X-Men because he was such a like solitary singular character that was always like part of the X-Men, but also knows that he could probably pull in at least 50% of the sales of the X-Men by himself.
He's every team's favorite outsider, you see.
Exactly. So you'll see that his suits will shift where the X-Men suits maybe shift multiple times between suits. He's like, well, why mess with perfection? I've got this.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because the one that we're seeing on screen, the one that is basically the John Cassidy version, but the one that inspired the John Cassidy version is essentially, effectively, the one we got when he was first created.
Yeah.
Like, and we're using a number of sources. I'm using an IGN aggregator, but also we've got an infographic and we've got like lists and stuff like that. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and just showing off of some of these suits, but it's just a little easier than having to type in these stuff. But the original suit, when we first see it, it's almost there.
Almost. It's funny how close they got in the first go around. The mask is a little wrong. Again, the little sleeve things are kind of weird. But of course, the biggest thing is that the claws don't actually come out of his hands yet. They are gloves.
Yes, they're weapons that he puts on to become the Wolverine, which I'm so glad that they didn't explain and then just abandoned.
Yep.
I know a lot of people nowadays, almost contrarianist, will defend the cat mask. I think that maybe I would have liked it when it first appeared. I think I would have been dazzled, like many other audience members, by this suit, by this character when he first came on the scene, if I'd never seen him before. So I think the cat mask only really appeals to a lot of like older folks. But even then, I'm sure there's a couple of smart alecky younger folks who were like, no, cat mask is just the first thing. Maybe if I'd seen it for the first time, I'd be like, no, the cat mask is dope. I never liked it. I don't like it now.
It's slightly off-putting.
And when they made the almost pitch perfect Hulk versus Wolverine, he wears a version of that mask.
Yeah, he does.
And I don't like it there either. Like, even when you try to modernize it and you put it into like the best animated version of Wolverine I've ever seen, apologies to X-Men Evolution and the animated series, it looks wrong is what it looks like. And they knew it too, because in Giant Size X-Men, his next effing appearance, they were like, oh, here you go. And it's the exact same thing, but with the fixed mask where it looks exactly what we want it to look like.
Absolutely. Again, it's very funny too, and I love this little piece of trivia where it's like, yeah, Wolverine didn't even appear in an X-Men book. He appeared in a Hulk book first in a two-parter as part of Department K.
Yeah,
and everything there. And even his arch nemesis, Sabretooth, the guy who would come on to define him so much as a villain, also did not appear in an X-Men book. He appeared in Iron Fist first.
Right? Yeah. But look at that. It's everything that you like about Wolverine with an even doper mask.
Is it kind of X-Men?
Yeah. Is it kind of Batman inspired? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Who doesn't love Batman?
Literally nobody. So I guess we could rank them too. The first one, I'm going to say A tier because everything works and they keep it. The striping on his boots, the weird shoulder things that make no sense and don't have any practical application whatsoever. The sleevelessness, which admittedly it is sad that we are losing them in the movie version, but I understand given that Hugh Jackman's predilection or rather predisposition for skin cancer, I understand, look, you saw the set he's on. It's just outside in the baking sun.
For real.
Cover him.
We're trying to protect our actors.
Yeah, please, for the love of God, protect Hugh Jackman at all costs. You could always CG the sleeves off if you needed to, but
that's true.
I don't want them to do that because I think his arms speak for themselves. But you've already gotten, again, in the comic book version, sleevelessness, you show off his guns, but everything else head to toe. The big belt buckle, which, as we've established, I always love.
And that will evolve and change over time too. But yeah, the belt, was there from day one.
The belt. I like that the belt shifts between like almost what book he appears in. Like
Mm.
I would love to have seen an attention to detail, like maybe just ensured by editors, where during the New Avengers era, when he was on both the Astonishing X-Men and New Avengers, if it's like he puts on a belt that has an X on it when he's on the X-Men, and he puts on just a belt buckle when he's on the Avengers.
He's got to remind himself what team he's on. What am I doing today? Okay, what belt
just look
am
at
I
my
wearing?
crotch. Oh, I got the X on it. Okay, which you can read upside down. But
I do love with Marvel at the place is right now. Wolverine is officially allowed to show up in other books again, where before he didn't. How he was at the big funeral in Captain America last week, and he's at the Miss Marvel funeral this week. And I'm like, oh, cool. He can actually be a citizen of the Marvel universe again and show up places that Wolverine should show up at.
yeah, thanks. So yeah, A tier for out of the gate. They nailed everything. The mask, I'm always willing to forgive because of how perfectly designed that suit is.
It's
then
a first
you get
draft. It's a prototype.
exactly. It's first draft, but then you get to Giant Size X-Men. The mask is dope. That's S tier. This is a pitch perfect. I'm in. They've also kind of like fixed the glove claw problem, where it looks they don't look like loose like they do on Shredder in the first Ninja Turtles movie. I'm cool.
Yeah, this is the bar by which all other Wolverine costumes will be judged. This is the one, this is the one that made history.
Exactly. This is the one that made you love Wolverine, whether you know it or like it or not. Then there's also, it's funny, I think this is a fair assessment, but there's the maskless version of this suit.
Yeah, which is almost a variant unto itself, because Wolverine is a guy who sometimes just eschews a mask entirely, and the hair becomes part of the costume too. That beautifully impossible haircut of his.
100%. The hair is a costume because no one on Earth has this hair. Hugh Jackman has been the best to approximate it.
Yeah,
but it is something else. Like, you didn't know back in the day that the mask conformed to the hair. You thought that was the mask shape. But yeah, of course, the other thing was like his debut. We don't see his face for the longest time until that reveal. But once we lose that mask, once we get Wolverine out of the costume, it's like, oh, this is a totally different look. When Wolverine takes off that mask, it's almost like he means more business when the mask is off. Again, we also see this is the yellow version, the bigger shoulder pads, or shoulder
at the time.
Exactly. And the buckle has become an X. Again, if we want to merge the ranking of this kind of like refined 90s version of the suit and the maskless version, I think this continues to be S tier. I think that like the buckle, the belt replacement, depending on the nature of his adventure, is genius. It also is a nice little, like, Wolverine clearly is a kind of character who's like, I buckle, no pun intended, for no one, but I will, because clearly the suit, this is his idea. This isn't like Charles Xavier was like, I really want to kind of like model everybody's suits after like this kind of team I'm working on.
We're gonna have a uniform.
Yeah, Wolverine's like, no, but I will incorporate the X into my outfit in deference to you. Like, I'm going to show you respect, put the X in there. I'm like, also, that's cool.
Also, too, we got to talk about the sick mutton chops, too, which is another thing that has always been a part of Wolverine, has always stuck around, even when it's, like, historically inaccurate. But then we'll go back and do Wolverine's origin and be like, no, that was the time period he was from. He's from mutton chop times.
Exactly. Yeah, no. He is the progenitor of the mutton chop.
And I like the only person it looks good on.
It's unless you're a Civil War general.
True enough. But which he was.
Which no, well, in Canada, I don't know.
Hey, in that Origins movie, he fights in every American war. He just drifts further and further south. Though, actually, I don't think he was a general. I think they make a solid point of being like, no. Him and his brother fought wars for hundreds of years and never rose above the rank of private.
Yeah, well, there were behavioral issues.
Yeah, they kept getting, knocked down for punching their superior officers.
Yes. So then we got this suit for the longest time. And by the longest time, I mean literally 3 years. And so we've got this yellow suit. It's the bedrock, again, S tier. Mm-hmm. And then we go hard left. David Cochrum's like, bye, here's Fang. How about this? And you're like, what am I even looking at? 1977, perfect time for upheaval and change.
Absolutely.
Ballsy move.
Mm-hmm. I had totally forgot that Wolverine wore this costume because I remember Fang.
Sabertooth in it? Oh, yeah, I see.
Yeah, I remember Sabretooth, and I remember Fang as like a completely separate character. I'm like, oh shit, I guess he did wear the suit for a little bit, because like I always assumed Fang is like, oh, another character who comes back from space and fucks with Wolverine every so often. But that's like, oh no, wait, he actually wore the costume too, and they have like, you know, immortalized it in variant covers and this image here and everything.
That's right. And I love the idea that originally they were like, this is just a crazy ass new version for Wolverine. And then eventually they retcon like, no, this belonged to somebody else. This is a completely different costume that Wolverine had to wear in a desperate move.
Yeah.
And then ended up incorporating for a very brief window in time. I respect the hell out of this suit in as much as I think it actually does speak to the savagery of Wolverine.
Indeed.
But I also don't really love it.
It's also short-lived, even by comic standards.
It is. It's alarmingly short-lived. Like, it is so short-lived. I'm shocked that there was no period when he wore it during the Hickman era.
Right. Yeah. Which. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Man, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. Now, is this the first time they also incorporated brown and yellow?
Yes,
this predates.
This is it.
Okay, so color scheme wise, I think you got to give it points, because they're like, actually, he rocks brown and yellow, which are two colors you never think you'd put together on a character.
Absolutely. No, this gives them the idea where they're like, oh, I kind of like the brown.
We can evolve this.
Exactly. We can rebuild. He could be more refined, and I love it because this is a bold statement. It is first of all unitard. Secondly, bones and teeth.
Yeah, gotta have them bones.
Right. It is so different that I can imagine the audience immediately hating it, but I also I don't know. I was not around. All I can say is I only remember it being used in flashbacks that were clearly being incorporated by, you know, artists who wanted to draw it or writers who wanted to reference it. It like had nothing to do with anything. And I'm like, this is insane. Also, of course, no mask. I kind of want to know what a Wolverine Fang mask would look like. Would it also have bones? Like, would it look like a Predator mask?
I think it would have to, honestly. I think that's the only way you would make it work.
Yeah, I kind of really want that, where it's just maybe it's like a skull on top of like spandex that he has to put over. Artists out there, I want to see Fang Wolverine with mask. What does the mask look like? Let's see.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, does it have teeth?
Artists.
Thank you, some guy with a mustache. Does it have teeth? Yeah, that's right. Dawkins wearing it now. So that and I think worthy successor, perfect idea. The only other person I would want to see the Fang suit on now is Ultimate Wolverine's son.
Oh, Jimmy Hudson. Yeah,
Jimmy Hudson. Who's still floating around. You know, what's his name? The maker didn't call Jimmy.
Nope. I love that. That Ultimate Invasion is going on. Maker makes a big deal to Miles being like, we're the only two. We're the lost sons of this universe. Well, and also Jimmy Hudson, and technically Miles's parents, and Uncle Aaron before he died / went missing, and a couple other characters Ben brought over.
I think those are copies. Like, I don't think that those are like, because no, he ported Miles over. Miles is an Ultimate Miles who like physically moved to the 616 universe. I think everybody else, his dad, his mom, Genki, everyone else is dead. These are 616 versions of his family.
And is that why they're the only ones who remember? Is because that was my theory going in, where it's like when he says we're spiritual brothers, you and I, he means like, you know, because we're the only ones who remember that it was real.
Yeah, no, Miles, you still carry the trauma of Venom eating your mom.
Yeah.
Your mom doesn't remember or have like flashback memories of having been eaten but then resurrected.
It's a whole thing. Also, hey, funny too, you know, how Miles turns him down and everything. I'm like, oh, this is really cool, because he's like, no, I like this Earth. You know, I belong here now. I've made a home for myself here. So much to the point, my text bubbles have changed, but yours haven't.
Yes.
And they never did.
I think I like that a lot. I think it's because Miles like drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm in. I'm all in on the main universe. And Maker never accepted it.
No, I'm always from somewhere else. Also, my book is really good right now too, so I really don't want to mess.
So please don't screw this up.
Yeah, please, for the love of God, I got a good thing going with Cody Ziegler.
Right, I can imagine it being like, no, you know, listen, you came too late, man. There was a period when it would have been a good idea to make me Ultimate again, but we're past that now.
Very much so.
3 years after the Fang suit, we get the 1980 Brown suit, which I love. They're just like, what lessons did we learn from the Fang suit? Brown.
Yeah.
What else did we do with it? Literally nothing. It's the exact same suit as the yellow suit, but brown and yellow.
And a couple of years later, and again, brown and yellow just should not work, and yet on Wolverine it does, to the point where like that was his suit in the beginning of Krakoa, and I think still is in his
It
solo
still
book.
is. No, that is the suit. It's a suit that I have literally over my right shoulder. The brown and yellow suit. This is a suit that he has been in technically longer than any other suit.
I guess so, yeah.
And yet, in my recollection of this suit, I remember it being kind of a niche suit because, I grew up in the 90s. So, like, the 90s suit was the yellow suit, cartoons and everything, and toys. This suit felt more like a throwback suit. Like, this represented a different time and a more solo adventures Wolverine.
Indeed.
But, yeah, again, everything I like about the yellow suit, I like about the brown suit. I liked that the brown suit was seemingly rarer than the yellow suit, but it actually isn't. It's cool. It also does the interesting work of dropping the shoulder pads.
Indeed, yes, he's much more mobile in this.
Yeah, it's more tactical.
Very.
I like that they drop the shoulder pads, and you lose nothing from it.
It's true.
Like the yellow suit, I think it would look a little weird without some kind of blue accent, which is why we have them. Without it, still works. I forgot, by the way, what do you rank Fang?
Ooh, Fang. I mean, it definitely has its fans. It's definitely stuck around, and the color scheme is what gave us brown and yellow Wolverine just a few years later. I got to dock it a couple points for being so short-lived that it was, but not by much. I would say it's a solid B+.
I'd say so, yeah. I in retrospect, the boldness of it, the idea of like putting literal teeth on the suit is so cool. I want to give it an A, but I will also go B because it was so short-lived, and it walked so the brown suit could run.
It's true. It also keeps coming back, which is good. So it's a suit with staying power, but also maybe got a dock at a point or two as well. Because like, well, technically it's not even really a Wolverine suit because they retconned it to being another guy's costume.
It's true. It's not even his suit. So
he just borrowed it.
Yeah, and that'll come up again with another suit where it's just like, it's an X-Men suit. Is this really anything? The brown suit, I think that it does it's the exact same suit as the yellow suit, but with 2 modifications, color scheme and shoulder pads. And yet it feels like a completely different suit, and I love it. S tier, it's great.
Yeah, you kind of got to put it in there because it has just stood the test of time, multiple decades. It is his suit now, for crying out loud.
And you can't change it. Like, he has belt buckles, no X on the brown suit, regardless of how people feel about it. I'm sorry, it's gonna have to stay brown. The only thing that I would give it any notes on is I don't know if I like the sharp V from the abdomen into the belt, because you'll see later on a lot of other suits like Spider-Man and Wolverine himself, the suits will taper. Like the center column, design will taper into the belt.
It's probably the boldest creative choice, yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a sharp tangent.
Yeah,
that goes into the belt. The brown suit does. Still works for me. I don't mind.
Yeah.
And it's funny. No one complains about this. Yellow suit and brown suit, trunks. No one's like, he looks stupid.
Yeah, what's up with that? That's just, like, even the new movie suit doesn't have trunks. And again, I never heard anyone complain that maybe they'll add it later with CGI. I don't know.
Yeah, I doubt it. I think,
or maybe they'll make a joke about it where Deadpool's like, "And I got you trunks." Yeah, I'm not wearing those.
I'm not wearing those. It's interesting. I don't think the Cassidy suit has trunks either. So I think that's where.
Well, there you go.
But great stuff. We can get into some alternate realities as well. This is more of a combo, but like Days of Future Past suit, which is basically just Wolverine in a bomber jacket.
Yep, which will begin a long trend of Wolverine being like, "I am so fucking iconic. I don't even need a costume half the time, and I'm still Wolverine."
Right, Wolverine wearing a bomber jacket, Wolverine wearing a denim jacket, Wolverine wearing a cowboy hat, Wolverine wearing jeans and cowboy boots. Civilian clothes Wolverine.
Just a tank top sometimes.
Shirtless, but jeans. Trailer Park Wolverine. I will take all kinds. The only thing I don't like about civilian Wolverine is Grey Temple's Wolverine.
But how do you know we're in the future? Oh my god, he is Paulie Walnuts. Holy shit. And T,
Yeah, I don't like it. I do like every civilian Wolverine. And I love especially that the cartoon show, the original animated series, did never shied away from it and always like took an opportunity to stick him in some regular people clothes.
Yep.
There's another suit that people that can be referred to. Not sure that I even really classify it as a suit, but let's go with it. And it's the black costume, not to be confused with Spider-Man's black costume, but a black suit. Wolverine wearing all black. This is a no-brainer. This takes no credit. This takes no effort whatsoever.
It's just Miller, right?
Yeah, but like, what if I put Wolverine in a head-to-toe like black shroud? You mean like when he's just in a shadow?
Yes. It worked for Daredevil when we put him in a black tracksuit. Worked for Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true. No, there's always a motivation to put someone in the black suit, like in a black version of their suit. It does nothing for me. I know that right now it's kind of shredded, but like inevitably all suits will be by Wolverine. Not a fan. I'm gonna say.
And I don't even think I would say that this one has really been, accepted by the fan base as well, too, because I had to really struggle to remember this. I'm like, oh, yeah, Miller put him in a blood because ninjas and everything else.
Because ninjas, that's right. I'm going to say E, like a little step above F, because, look, admittedly, any superhero wearing a black suit is cool.
It's a little trend chasing, and it didn't stand the test of time.
It sure didn't. So, yeah, right above F. I'm going to say E tier. There's another suit. If you can call it that, it's more just, I'd say Bond envy, and that would be, and this is, I put him in the same category as like Mr. Fix-It, where it's just like, what do you guys do? What is happening right now in comics? And that's Patch.
Patch, an alternate persona on top of his other persona.
Yes, the Matches Malone of Wolverine, like anyone would confuse him for anyone else.
I know, right? But he's got an eye patch and he's wearing a suit. He can't possibly be Wolverine.
Yes, not his insanely distinctive hair or the inevitability of his claws. Because there's no way you don't see Patch pop claws and scream his head off.
Nah, different guy.
Totally different guy. I respect Wolverine's commitment to the bit.
Very much so. Hey, Bub, I'm a different guy.
You straight up aren't, but if I disagree with you, you'll kill me. So
I guess I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah, I love the idea that Patch is only a alter ego because people just let Wolverine keep up with the bit because they're afraid of him murdering them.
Hey, he's got to walk around Madripoor somehow.
That's true. First appearing in 1989. Yes, completely. No question about that. Doesn't surprise me in the least. 1991, we get Wolverine wearing an actual tactical X-Men training uniform.
Yeah, there you go. Putting him in the yellow.
I thought that was awesome. I remember as a kid being like, oh my God. I didn't know that there was no like real story reason for him to wear it. I thought it was just that Wolverine had gone through an evolution of a character, and he's finally like kind of given up the lone hunter gunman thing.
I'm a member of the team now, you know.
So now he's wearing this. But it, like, you also see Gambit in it, and you're like, sacrilege. I mean, Storm wearing it, forget about it. I don't like it. I do like seeing it, but I think that might just be Jim Lee drawing it.
Oh, absolutely. Again, Jim Lee at the height of his power. This is also kind of the paradox of X-Men in general. We're a team, you know, we fight together. We're a family. We should be uniform and have, you know, a school uniform that denotes where we're from, but also solo and in between all of us, we have some of the greatest, most iconic costumes of all time. So putting us in uniforms kind of defeats that. So.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I loved it as a kid, but I would never want to see it for more than like one or two issues. I'm going to say D tier.
Yeah, it's a fun idea, and like you said, not much of a story reason behind it. If there was a story reason behind it, we might be able to put it a little higher.
Exactly.
And also confirming what we said earlier, too, and that is like X-Men, we change our costumes on a fucking Tuesday.
Exactly. So, like, and Wolverine, I like the idea that Wolverine's never in step with the costume changes for the X-Men. You know, it's always like, oh, what are we doing? I just had a costume change a week ago, so I'm not separate. Like, I'm not gonna change my costume now because you guys decide to finally start changing your costume.
I'm still breaking this new one in, man.
Exactly. Yeah, this thing that still has its new costume smell. There's another suit that we need to talk about, and it's barely a suit. It's basically just Wolverine completely naked, but wearing some headgear. And it's also one of the dopest costumes I've ever seen Wolverine in, so much so that they almost kind of got it right in one of the movies.
Almost.
Somehow. And that would be Weapon X.
Yeah, again, another suit that, instantly iconic from this image, this cover, and it's a thing that keeps coming back. Every artist wants to draw it. Everyone wants to do a flashback to take advantage of it. Even that movie that you mentioned completely fucked itself up and completely took a goddamn detour out of the freaking blue just so they could do Weapon X Wolverine in a movie that almost had no Wolverine.
Seriously, no, that was a weird decision, but also I remember the theater being really happy that it happened.
Yeah, I know, but that was such like a studio note where it's like, but there's no Wolverine in this. Yeah, put some Wolverine in there, but we're in the past though. It's a prequel. Well,
they only meet him in X-Men 1. Yeah, no,
change it.
Barry Windsor Smith cannot be touched. This is awesome. Yeah. I never understood it as a kid, but it's awesome.
It's very sci-fi.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's got some dope body horror. I would love to see it actually done with because CG can do metal really well nowadays. It would be really cool to see. I'm gonna say this is a B tier. It's not a Wolverine suit, but it also totally is.
It is, and it's gonna be an unlockable skin in that game.
Yeah, that's true.
If not, they're asleep at the fucking wheel.
I completely agree. There's another suit. It was brought back, I think, in flashbacks. This one's drawn by Victor Bogdanovic, but I'm thinking of the action figure I had of it, and that was the tactical suit that he wore when he was kicking around with people like Maverick.
Ah, yes, the Team X.
Yes, I honestly just call it the Maverick suit.
Because Maverick never stopped wearing it.
Exactly. It's not a Wolverine suit.
It's a uniform of a different team.
It's a uniform of a different team. But if he had if he was on a different team and they had matching uniforms, we'd still talk about it. We talked about the X-Men uniform. It's fine. It was a fun action figure, but again, it's a very distinctly specific Wolverine. It does no other translation to other adventures or stories. It's just the Maverick suit. I'm going to say D.
Yeah, it's a real time capsule, isn't it? It really places them in a time. And I remember this issue, too, reading it, that Percy actually kind of had to go out of his way for a little explanation. Like, okay, look, so this is when I was working for a CIA Black Ops unit of mutants, and my memory had been wiped a bunch of times. So I don't really remember what I did when I was doing this, but it definitely happened, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly. But I remembered it after House of M, but we're not going to talk about that either.
Oh, but shit, then that suit and that bit comes back again in that X Lives of Wolverine when he's quantum leaping through all of his adventures and they quantum leap back to that moment.
That's right. Which great idea. Here's a suit that I never liked. I never liked this suit, and I'm calling it out, and I think it needs to be in the list because technically it was the canon suit because canon had changed. And that would be the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine suit.
Ah, yes. I had this action figure, too. In fact, I had 2 of these guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's got one hand.
Crazy hair, blue and red.
Yeah, bigger hair. I don't know. It's also evocative of another Wolverine suit. It's another previous Wolverine suit, but made dystopian.
They're making bold swings, but it ain't the best Age of Apocalypse suit.
Certainly not. Yeah, exactly. I think that people don't love Age of Apocalypse Wolverine more than other Age of Apocalypse versions because the suit just isn't really that great.
No, again, I get what they're doing. Hey, it's a weird, fucked up, cracked mirror universe, and he's a weird, fucked up, cracked mirror Wolverine, but I don't enjoy looking at him.
I don't like looking at it. I never liked looking at it. I'm going to say D tier. I don't like it.
That's fair.
I don't like it. And you know what it might be? Just the hair. Just not a fan.
Maybe
too big.
Maybe a D plus though, because like I said, I had the action figure. It came with my X-Men Danger Room play set, so
And you immediately recognize it. It is instant recognizability. You're like, oh no.
It takes me back to a place in time. Oh no, we're doing Age of Apocalypse again.
Yes, but there is a worse suit, and it's not even really a suit, and that would be the post-Fatal Attractions. Well, Actually, okay. Do bone claws count as a suit?
Again, I feel like I'm contradicting myself now because in our Cap episode, I made a solid point of saying the shield is part of the
The
costume.
claws are part of Wolverine.
They are literally, but they are more a part of him than the shield is part of Cap. So it's like, yeah, if they change, does that technically count? I mean, yeah, because the visual of him with the claws is one of the strongest things. Sometimes it's just the face and the claws. So
Yeah, and the bone claws, because the 90s was also a very high period when Marvel was trying to get into multimedia, there are a lot of,
yep,
like, holdovers for some reason where, like,
indeed.
in video games and stuff, he has bone claws, and you're
Oh
just like,
yes,
"What the crap?" The bone claws are terrible.
yeah, not a great idea.
Not a great idea,
Except
but
for
I
when
think
they
it's
go
a
back and
suit.
do his origin.
Right, yes. It's cool when they appear.
Yes.
It's terrible that when they were a status quo. But admittedly, this image of Wolverine with shattered bone claws is awesome. It will
Not
always
bad.
be awesome. I love this look. And I think this is the suit. The suit is no mask, bone
Mhm.
claws, broken claws.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say again, I'm gonna go D. It's just,
Yeah.
it's the Wolverine you don't want. It's everything you want
Mm.
about Wolverine, but wrong somehow.
Yeah, that's a fair assertion. And yeah, and every time it comes back, like, oh no, we're doing bone claws again.
Exactly. And then it gets worse.
Oh boy, did it ever! And it gets even worse than this because at least he has a fucking nose in this one.
Yeah, this now Wolverine's de-evolution, thanks to the loss of his adamantium, is just him losing more of his suit and
Yeah,
his humanity and facial features. I
big bushy eyebrows,
when they tried to make this like a thing, like I
and they
get him,
tried.
yeah, I get him leaving and then just being this kind of feral monster, but we already have a beast.
Indeed,
And this sucks. But it also isn't, it's barely a suit. But
sure is.
his body is the suit. If shirtless Wolverine is a suit, then this is a suit.
I
Uh,
guess so.
this is terrible. No one liked it. But then when they gave him like
A
a
bandana,
do-rag,
yeah, to cover his face with. It actually got a little worse, and then he lost his nose. And that's like, okay, we got to stop this. I actually had the noseless bandana figure, and it was bigger than all my other figures too.
yeah,
Growing up, and he had like real hair on the fucking arms and everything
yeah,
too. What a weird toy to honor a weird time in X-Men history.
agreed, agreed. And it gets worse. Like he becomes more feral, and like it's just I don't know what you'd call it. It ain't feral. Like whatever monster that Wolverine turns into is not. It's a mess. It's a
Yeah,
total
it is.
mess of a suit.
And
That's an
over
F.
designed.
Yeah, well, and yet nothing really changed. Like it's just the suit, but with more Wolverine coming out of it.
hmm
I hate it. It's an F. It's a fail.
Yeah, it's
No one
bad.
likes it. The less said about it, the better.
There is no nostalgia for it, even in the era of Krakoa, where they brought back everything.
Yeah,
They have
it's
not
weird.
brought back Feral
It's
Wolverine.
weird they didn't do that in 10 Lives and Deaths. It would have been actually really cool if he went back to feral Wolverine and had to like acknowledge that and be like,
That
this was a
happened. But
weird
even
period.
Percy's like, nah, dude, we're not doing that.
Right? There's a couple of other versions that like are in multimedia because now we're finally in the 2000s and so forth. Like we got the movies, and I don't want to talk about the movies too much because like the movies are their
Black
own
leather.
thing. Yeah, black leather. Well, he also has that jacket
That's
with
true.
the homage lines on them, which is fine. But what about animated versions like the X-Men Evolution Wolverine suit?
I have a soft spot for X-Men Evolution, and I gotta say, history has been on my side on this one, where more people discovered it than ever before, because it was basically free on YouTube there for like a couple of years, where you could
It sure was.
where you could like sit and watch the whole thing, where they didn't give a shit, where they're like, watch it, don't watch it, whatever. We're not making any new movies anymore, and we'll
Mhm.
never have a new streaming service. Well, we'll have to fight for this stuff. I like the orange and black a lot. I thought that was a bold choice to be like, look, we can't do blue, we can't do
We
yellow.
already did it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we're not going to do brown. Let's do orange. And also, too, because Wolverine is older in the show. He's a teacher while everyone else are students at the school who have kind of more uniform costumes that have, references to the costumes they will have as solo heroes. But he's the only one who gets a fucking costume.
He does. And I think it's because he predates the team, right?
He
Like
does.
he shows up and he's like, all right, I'll be here.
He fights with Captain America. We get a whole Captain America episode in that show, and it's the last time for years that Captain America was allowed to be referenced in X-Men stuff. That was the last one.
Yeah, that's sad.
It sure is. It was a good episode, though. It's like literally, friggin' Wolverine like visits him in the ice, and it's like, Steve.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
My beautiful boy, what'd they do? Oh, they also save like little boy Magneto from a fucking concentration camp in that episode, too.
Yes, that was really cool. That's a smart move. I had another, I have complimentary lists that all, here we go. We also have this one. Yeah, because there's the black suit.
I also really like Sabretooth from Evolution, too, as it is a nice fusion of his Tyler Mane movie counterpart and classic comic look.
Yes, I agree with that.
Sleeveless trench coat, like all the best wrestlers come out wearing sleeveless trench coats.
Horseman of the Apocalypse Wolverine is stupid. Yeah, this is terrible.
But it happened. You want to talk about to honor it.
Exactly. You want to talk about over-designed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mess. From the same wellspring of Archangel, do you get this thing?
Should have been such a slam dunk.
Evil Horseman of the Apocalypse Wolverine should have been awesome, and instead
that up?
He looks like a Prince of Persia, like alternate costume. I don't know.
He looks like a random enemy you would fight in Prince of Persia. He doesn't even get to be the main. He doesn't even get to be a boss. He doesn't even get to be the main character.
Exactly. Nothing about this is good. Nothing about this says Wolverine. Yeah. I mean, there is a moment where he takes the mask, or he takes the cloth off, so that we can reveal that he's Wolverine. But also, like, so
hell, if you didn't know, if you just showed that to someone, they might not even know that was Wolverine.
Yeah, instantly unrecognizable,
and which is bad.
And it's just over designed and ugly. F tier. I don't like it.
So many other better Horsemen.
Deserves to be forgotten.
Sure does. Or at least they deserve to take a second crack at it and make them good this time.
If you were to make Wolverine into a Horseman of the Apocalypse, that would be awesome.
Hey, Al Ewing, Genesis War is coming up. Maybe Apocalypse needs to deputize some other horsemen to fight his shitty kids.
Right? I'd be very okay with, oh my god, alternate horsemen fighting his children would be freaking dope.
Because you figure there, it's like, these are the original horsemen. These are just his kids for which the other horsemen are named. There's nothing that says Apocalypse can't deputize more people to go fight his kids.
Yeah. Ultimate Wolverine Mark 1.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It's very indicative of the early Ultimate Universe and especially of Ultimate X-Men. It's sleeker, it's pared down, it's more realistic, and a little less interesting.
It's a lot less interesting. The colors are like not just this cover, but like in the books themselves. Like
he also has a real haircut and no mutton chops.
Yeah, I don't care for it. I don't like it. I'll give it, I guess, a C.
Yeah, early Ultimate X-Men in general is kind of a hard pill to swallow. When people talk about the Ultimate Universe, they mostly talk about how much they love Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate other stuff.
It's true. Eventually, they'd try again with Ultimate X-Men and make Ultimate Wolverine look a little better. Again, it's more movie inspired. It's more tactical. I don't like the high corner X or the half-hearted attempt at incorporating Wolverine's stripes on the shoulders, but nowhere else in the suit. Like
They've tried to fix the hair. Again, it's actually almost closer to the beard style I have now. I believe that's called the Whaler, only he's got the chin strap as opposed to the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that I noticed is that the Ultimate Wolverine never really wore a mask, which is a waste.
Yeah.
Just, I'm not a fan. I don't like
better, but not quite there.
Yeah, but like this half-hearted attempt at pouches, but only one side. Like, get the hell
what's up with that?
This is terrible.
It's a C, I guess.
I'll give it a D. Because it's just so gutless. It's just like, okay, so yeah, you watch the movies too, huh? Cool. Then we're getting to like the not modern era, but like more modern, where they're like, all right, we want to go back to basics. We've strayed too far. What are we gonna do with this? Let's go astonishing with it. It's just they go back to the old one, but with a little more not panache, but like a little with with a sense
modern
of
flair.
modernity. Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it for a little bit. We didn't get into New X-Men yet, but we'll talk about them because it's another. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about New X-Men first because New
Sure.
X-Men was I remember vividly them talking about like them planning the New X-Men and being like, we are doing something really different. And like, you know, the idea was like they're not really superheroes. They're gonna wear jackets. Wolverine's jacket will not have a shirt on underneath. That clearly he is not wearing a shirt. They just colored it in.
Later,
but like
yeah.
he doesn't wear a shirt. He wears a jacket over it. I don't like anything that is associated with New X-Men Wolverine. I don't like it. I get it, but I don't.
He's cut his hair. He's cut the chops. Again, it's all very modern. It's a lot closer to Ultimate, actually, in that regard.
Yeah. I don't like it. The dog tags, the jacket, all it says to me is movie.
Yeah, and this is also what we were saying too, where it's like, you know, the X-Men, you've given them a uniform now. You've given them, you know,
Yes.
a grand unifying theory for costumes. I can see how you would think that's a good idea in theory, but also you've robbed us of some of the greatest comic book costumes of all time.
It is so, yeah, this also brought us Cat Beast. It is,
Yeah, it did.
It feels very intentional, and I appreciate I appreciate the attempt. I don't, but it's, I'm sure when it happened, it was very exciting.
Yeah.
It only feels dated now.
Yes, it does. It's something that felt really hip and modern at the time, and now feels a million years old.
Yes. I remember when Alex Ross did like a bunch of design. He was like, I'm going to redesign the X-Men for everybody. And again, it was like the similar idea where it's like use negative space, try these ideas of like unification, but individualization and like with a foot into modernity and nostalgia as well. And it's just like, I didn't like Alex Ross's Spider-Man for the same reason. I get it. I just wanted to mention it because it's like it was a holdover from that time that I really appreciate.
No.
And I thought we'd talk about it for a second.
Yes, let's. Where
his suit is an X.
It also looks very much like some suits we will get later, too.
Yeah. Again, I don't like it. It looks like a silhouette with an X on it.
He's trying some things.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's the mask that works that everybody likes. The stripes that you want, but using an X. Like, it's a really, really awesome idea that I don't like.
It's all the black on the legs throws me off too.
It makes it look like he's wearing like thigh-high boots.
It's not even just thigh-high boots. It looks like he just gave up designing his costume at a point. It's like, this is good enough.
Yeah. I mean, it just says silhouette X on it. They all have X's incorporated into their outfits.
Yeah.
Like in the Alex Ross like unified design.
Very fashion forward.
Yeah. But there's a lot to like about the approach and the execution. I'll give it a C for effort.
Yeah. This is also one of those things too. It's like when it's not Alex Ross doing it, because you got to remember.
That's right. You got to think about that.
Again, it would be kind of shitty because it's like, look, you know, comic books are a team sport basically, and if you design a really over-designed, really fashion-forward costume, not every other workaday artist is going to be able to capture what you did, and that's going to look really bad in the hands of other people.
Yeah, I remember when I think it was for the Heroic Age, Iron Man updated his suit, and he had like all these glowing like. He looked like a big old mess, and I was like, no one else is going to want to draw that. And sure enough, that thing lasted like, it overstayed its welcome, but I guarantee you every week, like they got artist notes being like, can he like break his suit and wear the Mark 1 or something? Like, do I have to do this?
Man, that's going to be an episode 2 when we eventually do Iron Man costumes. Because there's a guy for whom changing his costume is baked into the goddamn character that he is never pleased with it because Stan Lee and artists were never pleased with it.
Yeah. The John Cassidy astonishing suit, the inspiration for the Wolverine Hugh Jackman suit.
We're in the modern era now.
Yeah, I love it. I have no notes for this suit. I think it's an S tier. I think it's like it's a beautiful
amalgamation of everything that came before.
It's just a perfect update. We took the one that worked and I updated it, and I'm like,
this stuck around for a number of years too.
I wish it would. I wish it would stay. Like I wish this was the dominant suit. I loved seeing like the throwback brown suit in like Hawks and Pox and stuff. I'm ready for this to come back.
Another thing I love too about Wolverine 2, they're never afraid to draw him with hairy arms. And as a hairy gentleman myself, thank you, comic books, for honoring the fact.
We had a nice little period of time where all the men were hairy, but no more.
Because that's who we're drawing it. Those were the artists. They're like, well, obviously, I'm just drawing reference from my own life and experience.
Exactly. The Astonishing suit is dope. There's another suit that a lot of people love, and I appreciate how much they like it. But again, it feels like that time has passed, but I get why you like it. And that would be the X-Force suit, the gray.
Yes, that's a favorite, and also the whole team got variations too on a same color theme, so they all matched, but also all had individual costumes, which I thought was a cool idea.
Yes, I love the idea of it of this being distinctly, uniquely designed just for this team and everybody wearing it.
Black red eyes.
Yeah. I feel like I wouldn't want to see it in any other context. I only want to see it when it's this team.
Yeah, we're the mutant secret police. We're scary as fuck. We're Cyclops' strike team, which I think they were at this point in history.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I like things to like. The classic mask, the stripe that like starts at the shoulders, goes all the way down to the boots. Tactical gear gloves. It works. It works really well.
I think this costume, too, really speaks to the fact that the Wolverine costume on its own is so goddamn good that even when you just palette swap it, even just when you update the colors, you can create an iconic suit on top of that. Who thought adding yellow and brown would be a good choice? Turned out it was a great choice. Who thought adding, black with a little red and some gray would be a great choice? It's a fucking great choice.
Yeah, and I think it's funny because, like, that was clearly what happened. They were like, well, they did that with They did it with the brown suit. Like that, the brown suit is literally just the yellow suit, but a different color palette. Why don't I just do it again? And it's like, yeah, I can't argue with that. It's it looks cool. You could do a Jokerized version someday.
You could, and it would probably work.
It would sell. No shoulder pads, but like piping to imply them.
He's got some more like what is it, like little like locky goth straps there.
It's more tactical. Like
on his gloves, which I'm like, yeah, I guess this is kind of the gothy costume, so sure, why not put some
put some straps on there. I think that you could go harder with it, or you could go softer. Like you could dial it back. You could actually trim it down and make it. You could literally just do the brown the brown and yellow suit, but gray and black, and that's all you need to do.
We haven't mentioned her yet, but a costume so good, X-23 adopted it for a bit too. She had the classic blue and yellow, and then near the latter end of, I think, her Tom Taylor series, she picked that one up because it's like, sure, why the fuck not? It's a good costume. It's a good color combo.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't think X-23 has ever worn the brown and yellow, which, hey, I think we should give that a try.
I agree. There's another suit that people are calling the time travel suit, which I was like, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this suit anywhere other than in Age of Ultron. There's nothing to write home about this suit, but I do like that they didn't really. There's an attempt here. There's an idea here.
Yeah, it's a hoodie.
Like the mask implies the stripes that come down the shoulders. There's a separation between the sleeves and the gloves, so we can show off his guns. The rest of it's all gray. Meh.
This feels like another video game unlockable suit.
Yes. I'll say D tier. I don't care about this suit. No one remembers it or cares.
I mean, it's connected to Age of Ultron, so
Yeah, that's true. And by the way, like that hood, we're doing the like Spider-Man, Batman, or occasionally they'll be like, oh no, the mask is attached to the shoulders. You cover you pull the mask over your face. I don't think I even remember him wearing a mask in this suit, so I can't even speak to it.
It's been so long.
Exactly. Yeah. There's nothing fun about that suit. There's another one they call it the fail-safe measure, which is, I think it takes elements from the Alex Ross idea, but adds all that modern, like, I don't know, make everyone look like they're made of metal. Give them those piping things that we saw in the time travel suit.
Yes, I remember this era. This is around the time he starts losing his powers. He starts losing his healing factor, and he's got to like update the suit because isn't it armor because he can't heal, and he goes back to using the claw gauntlets from Hulk because he can't pop them anymore or risk infection. That's why he's got a gun too. At least they have a story reason for it, and at least it eventually gets us to Death of Wolverine from Charles Soule, which is a good-ass story.
Which is a good story. I agree.
I'm willing to give this suit some extra points because it actually ended up being part of a fairly good era.
Yeah. All right, I'll give it a B.
I think it deserves a B. Again, losing the arms is tough, but again, it's supposed to be more tactical. It's supposed to protect him now because anything can kill Wolverine.
Exactly. Yeah. No, there's a story reason for it, and I will always forgive like a weird idea if it's because of a good story.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, now when I stop and think of Death of Wolverine, I think he doesn't actually wear a costume for most of that story.
No, he's just walking around. He's just being sad.
Yeah, which is why it's a great story, because you get to see him emote and everything. He's having a rough time.
Before he died, do you remember that time that everyone got Uru armor?
Oh, yeah.
Fear itself, Wolverine.
Oh, yeah. There was some bad designs in that.
He looks like he's from the Dark Multiverse.
He sure does. Yeah, what Dark Souls boss is this?
Yeah. None of these were good.
No, they were all pretty weak.
I don't like this. He looks like he's wearing a knight's helmet, which I know they're going for it, but it doesn't work.
He looks more Batman with that, honestly.
Yeah. D.
Yeah, I don't like that one either.
Random intermittent spikes. I don't like it. There's nothing to write home about.
Did not stand the test of time either. Most of those suits completely fell by the wayside when that story was over.
Yeah. In that same vein, though, we should probably talk about a very distinct Wolverine that no one cares about or remembers because there was almost no explanation for it. Hot Claws Wolverine.
Oh my god, yeah, what a fucking weird air where they're like, we got Hot Claws Wolverine, it's gonna be the craziest thing you've ever seen. Was that Charles Soule too? Or am I?
It was Charles Soule. He was like, I've got a good explanation for it. I promise you it will not just be tacked on. He has Hot Claws for a good reason.
Hickman's coming in. Fuck what you were working on, Charles. Fine, I'm gonna go write every Star Wars comic now.
Okay, bye. Thanks for the Hot Claws.
The fact that they've sold it so hard, never explained it, then rebooted the entire goddamn line.
Yeah.
So they would never have to.
Exactly. I also love that there's an action figure of it.
Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be?
Well, we don't have. I don't think we have tactical X-Force Wolverine as an action figure. That's insane.
Just also too, he had another costume in that Hot Claws story. I think he stole like a chef costume, and it was like red and black. So he had like a chef jacket for most of it.
Return of Wolverine, chef jacket Wolverine. There's nothing about this.
He's gonna win Hell's Kitchen this season, Sal. He doesn't even need to bring his own knives. I cut everything, bub. You like it, don't you, you limey bastard? Oh yes, the risotto's very good.
Right. Hot Claws Wolverine is just Wolverine with hot claws, so I'm going to give that like a D.
Yeah, in a story that had no explanation. Yeah.
And this one, similar, D. They're trying something, but who cares? At this point, no one's invested and nobody cares. It's just whatever.
I read that story, and then I'm like, wow, they really didn't explain it, huh, during all of this, and we're really not going back to it, huh?
Nah. The less talked about it, the better. We're moving on.
It happened. I remembered it. I seen it. I seen it.
Yeah, don't tell me it didn't happen. We didn't get a chance to talk about Robot Wolverine.
Yes. Albert, I believe, is his name now, and he's going to be on that Dark X-Men team with Madeline Pryor soon.
Yeah, Robot Wolverine.
I mean, if a character is good enough, eventually you just make him a robot.
Yeah. I like that he's a Terminator. But
I like his Kano eye from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but I could see Metal Wolverine when he gets acid on him. F.
He looks like an action figure. He looks like something you would find in the bargain bin.
Yeah, I had him. He was cheap. F.
And yet keeps coming back every so often. People remember Albert. They're sure to talk about him whenever there's a big robot event. Like, hey, they're a robot Wolverine kicking around, and now he's going to be on the Dark X-Men team.
Yeah. Oh, no. Fine. Let him stay there then.
What's his character? I don't remember. Is he just Wolverine but a robot? Does he actually have hopes and dreams?
I couldn't care less. I have no idea.
I guess we'll find out when that Dark X-Men.
Yeah, well, they won't be able to help themselves. There's a suit that I want to talk about that I really love the look of, and it is 10 Lives and 10 Deaths. Phalanx Wolverine.
Yes, that's right. When he became a Terminator again and was coming back through time.
That's right. This is fun. It only works in the one context.
Yes.
I'll give it a C.
I like Tron too.
Yeah. I like all the circuitry. I like that they were consistent with it. He's really cool looking, but I don't care. C.
And that story's not great. X Lives of Wolverine.
No, it is not.
Or I was gonna say the X Deaths was better because it was the one. Yeah, it was the one with Moira. But even then, it's like, oh god, you're bringing her back already after Hickman just killed her off. It's been like a month, guys. Seriously.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm not.
She's a robot.
Yeah, I'm not wild about it either. And then, of course, there's another Wolverine that is technically canon, and that's Old Man Logan.
Yes, he did become canon there for a few years. He was running around,
right?
And technically, I think his arm is still there too. People keep stealing that and try and get DNA off it and stuff.
Yeah.
So he definitely left his mark.
Yeah, I like it.
Same.
I liked it when I saw it in the original one. I liked it better there, but I appreciate it here. I'm glad he didn't get a costume.
Yeah. I mean, he started a whole trend of let's take your favorite character and make them old.
Yes, he did. Old Man Quill, Old Man Hawkeye.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He's a trendsetter. Old Man or Old Lady Harley, even over at DC, it transcends universes.
Yeah. It's just civilian Wolverine, but he's old. So I'm gonna say C, maybe B.
He's old and somehow even more pissy and cantankerous than he was before.
Yeah, great.
His back hurts.
And somebody asked, so Fantastic Four Wolverine.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Short-lived. Oh, yeah. Again, funny that he chose to put on the uniform.
Yeah. They should have just done the brown and yellow approach. Just take the same costume, and they kind of do. But I don't know if I like it. I think it would have been stronger if it was white and blue.
Yeah, I agree. Big agree.
But Spider-Man looks hot in it. I'm happy with that. But,
indeed, he pulls it. It's so funny. It's like, what did they have to do to get Wolverine to agree to put on a uniform here? But he's so reticent to put on a uniform over an X-Men.
Yeah, right? I don't know.
Did he browbeat him? It's like, but we made it special for you. You're really going to hurt our feelings if you don't put it on.
I assume it's like some kind of approach, like unstable molecules or something.
There you go. Don't you want the molecules?
Yeah. Somebody asked if I don't think we actually ranked the X-Men Evolution.
Oh, yeah.
Orange suit. I'd say B at least.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'm more nostalgic. I would give it an A, but that's just me.
That's fair. No, yeah. I'll defer to A. Yeah, that's fair.
Again, I think it actually did stand the test, and yet was never actually adopted in the comics, so it is unique to X-Men Evolution. No one has ever thought, maybe we got to wait a couple of years until some younger people become comic writers.
Yeah, and then we'll see it. I promise you we will see it. It'd
be great in the game, too.
I agree. We'll have to mention the super chats. This show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you yourself can be part of the show by having a super chat read here on the program. We will also answer your questions, and those proceeds go to keep this show going. Ray Farr, for example, says, ComicPop Woo. Out of all the Knucklehead suits, the brown and tan is my favorite. I always thought the X-Men Evolution suit was underrated as well. Well,
we agree.
You're not alone, my friend. Mitchell, if I had to choose one of my favorites besides the classic blue and yellow, it has to be the tactical X-Force costume. A lot of people like that one.
Fan favorite. Don't blame you. Makes for a good action figure too.
Agreed. And it follows the same trend. It's the same as the yellow one, but gray and
we didn't mess with success.
Yes. The man, the Iman Cal El Data, new comp, awesome. My favorite Wolverine suits are the two Laura has in all new Wolverine, followed by the yellow and brown for Logan. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, the Wolverine suit is so good, you give it to Laura, and it looks as good, if not even a little better occasionally.
I completely agree with that one.
Like, she rocks that blue and yellow so good.
She does. It's like, oh, who'd have thought that all I needed was Wolverine to be a woman?
Yeah.
Ron Caterasano, Laura's original Wolverine suit is probably one of my best, or one of the best.
It is so good. I was sad when they eventually moved her out of it.
Yeah, no. She could have kept it. That'd be very okay.
And now there's two Lauras, because now there's old lady Laura, too, running around as well, minus a costume.
It's true. I'm not wild about that. But I am wild about Laura in the yellow and blue. And it's funny, I think the approach should have been just like, as long as Logan's wearing the brown one.
Yeah, you get to have the
Laura will wear the yellow one.
I agree. And also, my favorite thing about the old lady Laura storyline is Laura's like, "So are we friends? Do we need to hang out now?" And old lady
Right?
Laura's like, "No, no,
No.
no, no. But why would you expect that we need to like hang out and be friends? I lived millions of years in this
Yeah.
other world and everything. I just want to hang out with friggin' Sync and everything."
Exactly. I don't want you. Look at that suit. Looks great.
It
It's
really
awesome.
does. It's so
And
good.
also shifts. There are some changes
Yes.
that are very modern. They're, like
The boots.
linking all the different kind of like patches that kind of link together, the fact that like there is like a guiding line for the belt that's built into the spandex. I
I
love it.
love the boots because they make little V's, so they actually are echoing the mask, but down lower.
Yes. Yeah. No, I like it. I like it a lot. And it's very different from Logan's. Logan, if you put that on, it'd be a very different suit. I love it. S
Also,
tier.
sleeves versus no sleeves.
Yeah. I like her in sleeves. I like Logan without sleeves.
Indeed, I think it tracks. It works really well.
S tier for me in this one.
Yeah.
60-second comic facts. Always love these episodes. Can't wait to listen to this one at work later. Well, thank you very much, man. And
We live to
welcome back to
serve.
the show. Peach, I just can't. I just want you to know how thankful I am for your channels. You're the reason I was able to jump in and read comics. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you, Peach. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for the support. Silvery Cricket, does Wolverine in the birthday suit count? Of course he does, because he's often in that suit.
He really is. It's more Wolverine than you know what to do with.
Yeah, triple S tier is Wolverine.
It has to be.
Just free balling it. Cat Lair with a friend for treats. His body hair counts as a suit, right? I love it when it looks like a sweater. I love the one he wore in X-Men Evolution, but he looks good in anything. He does look good in anything. Echoing Peach's point, or Silvery Cricket's point, yes. Just hair is good.
Just keep it pure 70s.
That's right. Cam, Insomniac better put Wolverine from the swimsuit special in the game. I want to see that hairy Canadian in a Speedo.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Because they got to put a couple joke ones in, and Wolverine doesn't have near as many joke ones as Spider-Man has. So yes, that one does need to be there.
But we got Spidey in boxers. I think we can get Wolverine's poolside in that one.
It's only fair.
YC Goosey, not gonna lie, I love the gray X4 suit so much. Don't blame me, man. You're not alone.
A whole generation grew up on that when they were reading comics. I think that hit at just the right time for a group of people.
That's true. Ray Farr. Now I want to watch Hulk versus Wolverine or Hulk versus again. I loved Hulk versus Thor 2. It was great. No question. Also, I always love, or I always lol when people say Wolvie's mask looks like two Batman kissing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nikki T. I like the all yellow variant in X-Men: The End. Oh, I hadn't thought about X-Men: The End.
There is one I haven't thought of. Good job, chat, for reminding us of these.
I didn't want to go too far into like alternate realities. I just
because once you do that, we'll be here all freaking day.
Exactly, and that is different from Wolverine: The End, which was just being miserable and sad.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to include that, then we also got to include the Wolverine Emma Frost fusion from Warped.
No, yeah, that was. I don't know, Ice Patch. I don't know what the hell they call him.
Yeah, when he was dressing like a fucking aristocrat in a suit and everything, and he had blonde hair.
Yeah, hate it. AK, I love the Astonishing X suit. I really hated the Frank Quitely suit with the jacket and no shirt. It had a weird pervert energy to me.
He did have a real leisure suit, Larry. Hey, bub, it's me, Wolverine, coming to ruin your ladies' night.
I've completely given up.
Cool. I save so much money now by not having to buy shirts.
Right, like where's Sweatpants Wolverine? I gave up. Just manic depressive Wolverine.
I mean, it works for Peter Benjamin Parker, so I mean, yeah, we need a line of superhero sweatpants.
Yes. Mighty Aristus Asterisk. I've always wanted to know what the ultimate or movie outfit would look like with a mask to match. I agree. I want to see that. I think we know what it would look like, but I'd like to see them at least give it a try.
Yeah.
Scarlet Hottie, look out, Sal. Wolverine's right behind you. It's true.
He's coming right for you.
Yeah, and it's a classic suit. It's one of the best. I think we should actually have a quick chat about that at the end of this. Shane Wirostek. My favorite suit is from X-Men Evolution.
It's a good suit.
Yep.
And again, more black than orange, but the orange really makes it sing.
It does. Well, especially set against the black. That's very much a Halloween suit at that point. 343 Burning Legion. Am I the only one that hopes the Soteria suit makes a comeback? I assume that's the one with the chef's jacket. No, probably. Jose, I love the Asgardian armor from Fear itself.
I'm glad someone does.
Yep, he looks like a Batman suit. Cat Lair, friend for treats. I also love him in a kimono.
Yeah, he goes to Japan a lot and dresses in like other garb. Heck, even in that Miss Marvel funeral issue, he shows up in traditional Muslim garb.
That's true. The funeral. Yeah. I love. Somebody pointed out online, the that in the Kamala Khan episode or issue, Iron Man pops his boots off.
Yes, he does.
But Captain America does not.
Oh, Cap, come on,
and he
man.
walks through it and then goes up to the lectern and he's like, no.
Steve, come on, man. You know, relations are tough enough as they are right now, coming on in, draped in America. Even Captain Marvel wears a traditional head covering in keeping with tradition.
I know. This guy, 9947, jumping in late. Have you discussed the suit Superior Spider-Man made? No, I don't remember that at all.
Well, yeah, what was that from? Was from one of the side Superior books? Was that from yeah, because there was the main Superior book, and then there was like the spin-off that was kind of like a team up with him and a bunch of other people. He teamed up with like Namor, and he kidnapped the Sinister Six and tried to make them into the Superior Six. I think that was from the side series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I have no.
Yeah, wow, I don't remember that one at all. That was a thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know.
We'll take your word for it.
Exactly. Steampunk Ultimate Wolverines had a special place in my heart since the Ultimate designs were used in the X-Men Legends
That's
games.
true. I didn't think about that. They look better in the game.
I agree. Cosmic Journey. I'll take the crusty brown jacket and jeans over any costume any day.
It's a good look.
That's by design. They love that. Okay. That's the Albation armor for Wolverine. Let's see.
Yeah, let's take a look at this now. Because I do not remember this at all. Did I totally memory hold this?
Yeah. I don't like it.
Because, like, he technically gave the Sinister Six new costumes, too. There was a lot of red and black on it to match his own.
Yeah. Here is a, here's like a design from one of the artists who was like, here's what it looks like.
Okay, let's take a look at this. Oh, yeah. Huh. You think I'd like it? Yeah, you think I'd like it because it's orange and black, and yet I don't.
It's got the X. It's trying to do the Alex Ross suit. That makes a lot of sense because the Superior Spider-Man suit is the Alex Ross suit as well.
That's right. I didn't even think about that. Huh.
Hate it.
Yeah, there's something just off about it. I don't know.
Yeah. Looks a little better here.
Yeah, you know what? Much better there. There's too much chest. That's the thing. There's too much color on the chest is what it does it for me.
And don't give Wolverine knee pads.
Yeah, he's tough.
Yeah, he's okay. If he skins his knee, he'll survive.
Or dislocates it, you'll just put it back in.
Exactly. Colin Crummery, you guys talk about the Barry Smith weapon X look. Yep, we did.
Believe we did.
It's great. Sig Knight helping us out. Thank you very much, Sig. We really do appreciate it. Dex Baker, I just haven't super chatted in a while. Nothing to add, but Joel, you need a Blackpool Combat shirt. I
know I do. It's a great shirt. Buying wrestling shirts in Canada is a pain in the ass because they will always charge you like 20% extra for shipping. And I missed them on their freaking Canadian tour when they were here in like Toronto, Hamilton, Calgary.
Oh.
Yeah, I get twice I missed buying tickets for that shit. That's how quickly they sold out because they're doing the smaller arenas.
And Tommy John Alamon, Dark Claw versus Asgardian armor, which is better? Well, I think we should take a look at what Dark Claw looks like.
Oh, just an over-designed mess, and yet I kind of love it.
I only love it because, I mean, like, it's because there is some intent. It's what if Wolverine were Batman?
Yes.
And you know what? That's right. This has everything. This is the Fang suit meets the Asgardian armor. Like it's instead of bones, it's metal. Instead of metal, it's bone shaped metal.
And the claws look like batarangs.
Yeah. Did he cut the claws to be batarangs, or did they come natural like that? Yeah, the mask is a bat, the belt is a bat, the suit is a bat, he's dressed as a bat. It's a lot of bat.
It's so extreme.
It is so extreme. The mouth has there's a mouth on it over him. That's what I want. So the Fang suit, just put this mask on it, and I think you've got it.
There you go. We cracked it.
We've got some closure on that one. I like this more than the Asgardian one.
Because, you know, I think the Asgardian was trying too hard to be cool. This is trying to be ridiculous, I think.
This is a product of its time. This is a natural occurring thing. This is like, you know, that's exactly what this is. Like this was a genuine product of the 90s, which is ridiculous and exploitative in its own way, but also it's
all fuck.
right? But it's not trying to like capture something. It just is it. It's not ironic. It just exists.
It's the room. It's pure.
Yeah, it is pure. That's right. So my question is, which is better, or which is your favorite, brown or yellow?
Oh man, that's like, who's your favorite child, really? I mean, I think they both belong to the era that they're in, and they're both so quintessential. In fact, it is weird to have a hero where it's like, no, you have two equally valid costumes, where usually for a lot of heroes it's one or the other.
Yeah. I think personally, having had the brown suit for so long, I like the yellow. I like the yellow more.
I think, I think I'm hungering for the yellow suit now because we've had brown for so many years. I'd like to see a return to the classic, and obviously he's got it in the movie now, so my nostalgia's kind of in overdrive for it. And I guess the first time I saw Wolverine, it was in blue and yellow.
That's right. Easily the first time I saw Wolverine was blue and yellow. I was a big fan of the brown. I still do love it, but I got to go yellow.
I guess we got to give the edge to yellow. It just has so many things going for it.
And it's the original. It's the OG.
Again, it's the original. It's, can you ever fall in love again with the Wolverine suit? You can.
I think you can. Let us know in the comments down below what your favorite Wolverine suit is. We want to thank you so much, especially thanks to our super chatters for sponsoring today's show. Thank you, chat, for being here and making this show a pleasure to make every other week. We will see you guys next time with another episode. If you are going to be in San Diego, come see me and Benny and Tiffany at San Diego Comic-Con. If you are in Canada and you spot a wild Joel, give him some jerky. And we'll see you guys next time with another episode here at ComicPop Returns. I'm Sal. I'm Joel. Check out Cape Joel on youtube.com/Cape Joel. See you guys next time. So long, everybody. Bye-bye.